All right, folks, welcome back to the show powered by Elevate Health. And I think we all need to get in a hyperbaric chamber to get our heads right because the golf world has been rocked. Ladies and gentlemen, PGA professional Todd Fischer is on the show, and the golf world's been rocked now. PGA, LIV, they're merging. All the world powers aligning. What the heck's going on?
I don't know. Hey, you know what? It was a big shock the other day. Well, there's so much that's still not told about anything, really, right? They just say it announced they're coming together, but there's so many wheels that have to be corrected, and the players, I'm sure the PGA Tour players that were loyal, you know, they got a bad deal.
They got to be pissed. Rory came out and said he feels like a sacrificial lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got to get your perspective on it. Now, if you're on the PGA Tour and you stayed loyal and you saw those guys shoveling money into their bank accounts, and now it's all coming back together, how would you be feeling?
Oh, I would be really upset.
Is there going to be a beef?
No, I don't think between the players. It's got to be a beef between the commissioner, who probably, I think, kind of caved. You know, you don't know the numbers or anything, but that lawsuit stuff was going to go nowhere. Something has to give. All that money going out, it's just wasted money. The lawyers are making more money than probably the LIV guys.
Right. Now, do you think Brooks winning the championship was a big deal? Do you think that helped sway things in this direction?
I do. I think the fact that the Masters, where, you know, Brooks finished second or whatever, however, you had Mickelson and Patrick Reed finishing third and fourth, so you had three LIV guys in the top four in that event, which doesn't promote well with –
Doesn't look good for the PGA?
Yeah, exactly. And then Brooks coming back and winning again. So the fact that, and they were always asking for world, you know, ranking points and stuff like this, and that I think that elevated the negotiations, or to see that LIV is probably going to be around for a little longer than they wanted it to happen.
Now, will they keep the LIV branding? Do you think that stays alive? Do you think this all eventually becomes PGA? And then when the reports came out, every time I saw the reports, it was LIV to take in PGA. The first day when I was reading it, I'm thinking, whoa. Did LIV just buy the PGA Tour? And now it's seeming like, you know, who's going to get the commercial rights?
Well, I think the fund still comes from the Saudi-backed public fund, right? So they're the one. I don't know. You don't know that yet, right? So, but these guys, there's a lot of money involved, and I don't know how they're going to make it work. But if the commissioner caved and did this, then yes, it's probably LIV is going to take that over.
LIV will continue to live.
Yes.
PGA may be a term what we don't hear anymore.
They'll still have it. I'm sure that. I don't know how they're going to work the tournaments together, right? I don't know how.
It's going to be wild.
It will be wild.
And are the purses different? That's my big question. Are the purses now going to be different from the LIV events at PGA? They got to be similar.
I think they're going to have. You know, it would be like having those World Golf events again.
Right.
And it's based on your world ranking points, but those events will be really elevated. Maybe $100 million purses. Who knows?
Do you look at this as historic as NFL and AFL merger, or has LIV not been around long enough to give it the AFL?
I don't think it's been around long enough. However, they did have enough juice to at least make this merger happen. And, you know, that's, 2 years? Maybe not even 2 years? 2 years?
Right.
This is their second season. So they have, you know, they've excelled in somewhere in the golf world that, you know, the commissioner caved. He caved.
It's only been 2 years.
Yeah.
And now, the thing that LIV was facing was the fact that LIV had to sell the franchises.
Mm-hmm.
So LIV was structuring themselves as more of as a team approach, and their whole deal with the business plan was then over the next 5 years sell off all these franchises, and now you're sitting looking at something like pro sports or typical pro sports where here's the governing body, let's call it the MLB, which would be LIV, and here are your teams, the Yankees, the Mets, this and that. Now, who knows with that format even?
I know.
Does that go out the window?
I never watched the LIV Golf, but I think it was more fun for the players. Actually, look at Pat Perez.
Right.
He didn't play well as an individual. However, his team won. You know, his team's winning majority of the team events. So he's making a lot of money on the team thing.
And then you also see now with these, they got the Netflix specials coming out with all this stuff and all the media. So it's allowing these players to grow their brands, grow their sponsorships off the course. And it is interesting. It's happening across all sports, NIL deals in college, new money, and new athletes having new attitudes towards the sports. We just saw what would happen with golf. It showed us what guys would leave and that there isn't that strong of a loyalty.
Yeah.
So now I wonder, you look at guys like Rory, and Tiger's older now, but you look at the guys in the PGA that stayed loyal. How will they feel going forward about the PGA? Would this hurt how you feel?
Oh, absolutely it would. Yeah. But, let's say, the numbers, you see the numbers on just like hearsay on stuff. Like Will Zalatoris turned down $130 million to go there. And now if he took it and then can still come back to the PGA Tour now, that's $130 million.
Feels like an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be
Rory
burning.
Rory had the same. He had a chance to take the money. He didn't. He stayed loyal to the tour. And now he's just out that money.
So now all the guys that went to LIV Tour got the money. They get to keep all their money, and they just get reinstated now?
I don't know. I saw something. Well, I saw something where they're going to have to apply for membership or something like that. But again, I think it's only 3 days old, this announcement, and so I'm sure there's still not a lot out information so that we can really talk and be accurate about. We could only speculate what's going to happen.
All right. So right now, Fish and Boots are the new commissioners. I'll represent the LIV. You represent the PGA. I don't want to be the one to cave.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take it.
So we're in. What do we do? Here we are at the table, because that's really right now, folks, this is what's going on behind the scenes. They're still going to be deciding, hey, what is what? If I'm the LIV, I still want my circuit alive. It'd be cool, I guess, if there's challengers coming into the circuit. Maybe you look at it like how they do soccer overseas, like where you qualify for different events depending on your standings. Is there any of that already in the PGA?
Well, I think you do, because I guess in the meeting the other day they had a higher-ranked player yell at Rory about something, and the guy's, Rory's ranked top 5 in the world, right? And the guy apparently was 227th.
Okay.
Rory just said, play better to the guy. He was complaining. And that's all the case was. And for the guys that are, I think it will hurt to guys that are higher ranked like that, and they barely keep their card every year. They're going to make these events more elite, and then I don't think they're going to have a chance to play.
Interesting. So it'll hurt the PGA guys, really.
It will definitely hurt the PGA guys. But like I said, I don't know how the PGA can structure letting these guys in right away, and how they're going to do fields. And again, if they kept the same, you have your one governing body, but they still have the separate tournaments. They also said they would never play. LIV said they would never try to play against the PGA Tour on same weeks. So does the tour going to, limit their schedule some and let the LIV play other times?
Or do you do different times a year?
Yeah, different times a year. But it is very difficult on what's going to happen with tournaments and how they do, even the team structure.
Right, and then are the vibes different? The team structure has to go. You'd assume the team structure has to go, right? Because you got Brooks and Pat Perez and these guys in teams over here, and then the PGA guys wouldn't really be welcome into the LIV world because they're not on a team, or you'd have to create new teams.
Create new teams, but I don't know. That's 2 different leagues.
And then the big difference, like the big difference that LIV was looking to create was the experience and the whole vibe of the thing. So you go to the LIV events, it's louder music. There's more, it's more of like, I guess, like a party atmosphere. But PGA has also started to add a lot of that stuff.
They do one, they do one hole. They try to get a super fun hole like the 16th at
Waste Management.
Waste Management. And then they have, it's kind of like Happy Gilmore now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fun, different atmosphere. But golf has changed that way, too.
Yeah.
People are playing music in their carts and stuff like this, and they're just, making it more enjoyable.
Right.
I do think the pace of play in golf has to be a little quicker, but
Trying to get some MLB rules in there now.
Yeah.
Shot clock.
Shot clock.
That would be
I
kinda
did
cool.
see, I think the European Tour did that once. They put a shot clock on the guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Now you step up. We got to golf together the other day. You just step up and hit.
Well, you're overthinking.
Okay.
You know, I try to keep golf very simple. You know, as a kid, when you're out hitting ball, you just hit the ball and move on and go on.
Right.
That's kind of how I look at it now. There's too much time. You know, I have so many things going, people talking in my head. Yeah. You know, I look at, you know, I'm focusing on other things just in between shots, you know.
Right.
Just try to get it out there. You get, you know, okay, this is what I want to do. This is your yardage. You get up and hit it.
So the PGA commissioner here is suggesting a shot clock. And I'll sign off on that as the LIV commissioner.
Let's try that.
But now, why would my guys want to play in your events for the purses that you currently have? That's all going to have to elevate, right?
Yes. It already has.
Right.
You know, I think it also is going to hurt other long-lasting tournaments that don't have the big purses.
Yeah.
And they struggle to get the funds to have it.
Just like the legacy ones where people were there for the name.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But you know, then you go to a place that's, you know, that's a $7 million purse, and then you're between 2 weeks that are elevated where they're $20 million purses.
Right.
Right. So that's going to hurt them.
It's crazy.
It's very crazy.
You really can't be playing under the same roof with those differences in the numbers.
But I do think the tour paid players this year that had their card. They gave them a
bonus.
A bonus to start the year. It doesn't go on your money list category, but it's just they didn't give it to us when we played.
Now, for the folks listening, if you're tuning in and you're not a huge golf head, right? Tell them what is the process to get your PGA card, and what is the process to keep it?
Well, it's a little different now than when I was out there, but I could just tell you what I had to go through. Back in the day, you had a they call it a tour school. Mm-hmm. It's a three round tournament, 3-stage tournament. You start, you know, some guys are exempt. They go to your first stage, and you got to win a certain amount of places. There'll be 100 guys, let's say, for 20 spots.
Okay.
All right, and that's
around the country.
Around the country, they got probably 8 spots around the country for it. Okay. Then that narrows down to 4 spots, let's say, and then those top 20 guys that made it through the section will go to another section area for 4 spots around the country, or 4 sites around the country for the same amount of 20 spots. All right, let's say, and then you go to the finals, and there is a purse in the finals. And back when I did it, they had 50 spots available, so the top 50 guys would get their PGA Tour card. Okay. And then that kind of dwindled down when they brought in the Nationwide Tour, the Korn Ferry, which now, and they split it between 25 guys on the tour and 25 guys, their top 25 guys on the money list for the Korn Ferry. Gotcha. So they got to go on the tour. Now they have it where the tour school just qualifies you for the Korn Ferry Tour. You can't be elevated right away to the PGA Tour. Oh. So, I mean, there are other avenues to get your tour card, but that's pretty much how you do it now.
And now, to maintain it, so let's say you get your card, then the next year, how do you maintain it?
When I played, you had to be the top 125 on the money list.
Okay, or you're off.
Or you're off.
And then you'd have to go into the original process again to get it back?
Tour school to do it.
Wow, so maybe something like that is what keeps it. But you can't put, like, LIV events can't, if I'm the PGA, I can't allow the LIV events to be the upper echelon events.
I know that.
Because now that makes the PGA look terrible.
They're going to have to find a fundamental way to make everything interesting and fair for that. Like I said, it's going to hurt the higher end players or lower end players on the money list that are in the top 100, but they're not going to get in these elevated tournaments.
This is going to be one of the most interesting years in the history of golf, because everything's going to change right now. And people are going to there's going to be severe compromise on both sides. There has to be, or else it's just not going to work.
I think it just has to be on the PGA Tour. I don't think the LIV cares. I mean, they've already won.
How could they care?
They won.
They're sitting back smiling right now.
Yeah.
But PGA has to want to get rid of the letters LIV.
Yeah.
They have to. How do you let those letters survive?
I don't know.
If you let those letters survive, you lost.
That's what that's what they got to figure out.
Would you keep LIV only international?
But now you interfere with the DP Tour, the World Tour, or the European Tour.
And they're a huge part of this negotiation as well.
Yep. They were on the side of the PGA Tour.
So when you look at this negotiation, is it like, do you see the European Tour and the PGA on this side and LIV on this side, or is it a triangle conversation?
I think it's 2 against 1, and
Right.
the 1 is dominant.
Only in the 2?
Yep.
I had an interesting question come in to the show after this all started getting announced, and it was, are we now going to see a more aggressive push for foreign influence, whether it's from Arabia or whether it's from Asia, wherever, into American sports, NFL, NBA, MLB? Will we start to see more of it?
Well, look at football now. They're playing out of the country, more and more games.
Mm-hmm.
I think baseball did the same. They went down to South America.
And England, they have a UK series now.
See, so they're making everything more global.
Right.
I mean, how can you be football world champs if you only play in the United States?
Yeah, and now I know NFL owners have band together, and they've been trying to keep out foreign investment as much as they can, especially coming from the Saudis and things that have funded like LIV, because that money could come in and rock the NFL's world.
Look how big like soccer and F1 is.
Yeah.
The money that goes in there.
F1's the biggest money sport in the world.
Yeah.
I never knew that. That's incredible.
I've watched a few races, and it just seems like the pole sitters, that's the guy that's going to win. It's hard to pass on
How
those
do you
things.
pass that guy? But that's what it may be like. We may now have some pole sitters in the world of golf.
Mickelson's a pole sitter right
He's
now.
a pole sitter. Brooks,
Yeah.
pole sitter.
Well, Brooks is
Might
more
not love
quiet.
that nickname. Yeah.
Brooks is quiet about it.
he was.
The guys that I don't have a problem with the guys. I mean, you made your own decision whether you're going to stay with LIV or you go to the PGA Tour. But it's the guys that badmouth
Right.
each other after it.
They did get a little nasty.
It did. And then when they come together, you didn't see anything.
Right.
There was no showdown.
Right.
Come on.
Now Phil comes in. The old hero comes back, the villain. It's crazy.
He's always been a little villain.
So we're going to see what happens here in 3 years. Okay, Fish, in 5 years. Will the letters LIV and will the letters PGA both still be in existence?
Good question. I don't think it would take 5 years for that. I think you're right, 3 years.
Yeah.
2 years. Let's see how the first year unwinds. I mean, like I said, there's so much that has to be worked out for all this to work. You're not going. Players on the PGA Tour are not going to be happy.
Yeah.
I would think the LIV guys, if they never play golf again, hell, they got their retirement money
fine.
anyway. They're done.
Get a membership over here. They'll be kicked back.
Yeah, but where this else is going to help? How about the guys that started on LIV early and got booted?
Right.
With the higher name players,
Right.
They had nowhere to go because they weren't allowed back in. So these guys now got a free pass.
And these guys, too, that went to LIV, the big name guys, they got percentage of team ownership.
Yeah.
So now you own a percentage of a team, and you no longer know if your league is going to support teams.
No, I know. That's right.
So, but I guess they'd be less pissed off. They got their checks.
They got their checks.
So worst case, that's a side issue for them.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I hope it all works out.
Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully it's all golf gloves, no boxing gloves put on. Me and Fish right now are going to be trying some of the new Black Clover liquors. They got the vodka. They got the whiskey. We're here at Castlewood, and that's your update on the PGA LIV confusion. We might be putting all the letters into a whole jumbled deal and rolling out new acronyms.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what could be happening. Fish, thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Absolutely.